Hello and welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. And I really hope you enjoy this podcast. So, we're going to dive right in. My camera looks so angled. I apologize. Let's see if that's better. Okay. So, it's episode 40 something. Yeah, I meant to look before we started, and I did not. Oops. Okay, so it's been 2 weeks since I podcasted. I'm a little off my game, but I have some finished objects, or I should say one finished object, and I have yarn to show you. I have lots of new projects that I have cast on, and I have some hopefully next week finished objects because they're getting this close to being done. So let's dive right in and show you all the awesome stuff that we have in store for you today. So as you can see, this is my latest finished object. This is and I am probably butchering the name. I apologize greatly for it, but I am calling it the Fukuro top. It is spelled Fukuro. That's my best attempt at it. Anyway, this is a very simple t-shirt style top. It is done in 3 colors. So you have your main body color here, you have your contrast color, and then you have your top color here. For the small size, which I knit the small size, which really I would say comfortably fits anyone from a size extra small all the way up to a medium very well, if not even a large if you don't like a lot of positive ease. It doesn't, even on a person that would technically should knit the large, it doesn't give you negative ease at all. You're only getting maybe 2 or 3 inches of positive ease, whereas this top is designed, I believe, for 7 inches of positive ease. So I used the Jacob's wool that we sell from West Yorkshire Spinners. So it's a breed specific wool, and it is definitely a woolly wool. So some people will look at this and touch it and say, oh, it's scratchy. For me, it's just a rustic wool. That does not bother me. So if rustic wool doesn't bother you, you like that toothy, it's not scratchy. It's just not cashmere, okay? If that bothers you, you do not have to knit it in this. This is just an example so that people could see how the Jacob's wool knits up. It is quite reasonable. It's only $9 a skein for the Jacob's wool. So this bottom portion took a skein and roughly a quarter for the small size. Of course, you only use a small amount for the contrast color and then 1 skein for the top. So if you do the Jacob's wool, it's $9 a skein. It's a very reasonable t-shirt top. You can use any DK weight yarn, whether this be stash busting, because if you knit the small, all you need is 1 skein up here of DK weight. You only need like I'd say a quarter of a skein to a third of a skein of your contrast color, and then you need a little over 1 skein. So a skein and a quarter, a skein and a third, a skein and a half, just depending on the yardage on your skein. And you could go through and stash bust maybe with leftovers from a sweater that you knit last year. Maybe if you have a couple single, like let's say you had 2 single skeins of DK, well, you could contrast those up here and then get 2 skeins of another contrast down here for your bottom. There's a lot of possibilities for it. So yeah, it's really cute. Very simple knit. So you start on the bottom. It's a bottom up. Twisted rib. You knit for so many inches. Then you do your contrast, which is just very simple 1x1 color work. If you've never done color work before, this is a great pattern to start because it's extremely simple. Super, super simple. There's no shaping on the sides whatsoever. It's just knit. When you split for your sleeve, you just knit the front piece, you knit the back piece, and then I did a 3-needle bind off. I believe that's what the pattern calls for too. I have it exposed, so you kind of have a, I don't know if you can see it here, but you have a seam, like an outer seam. If you don't want that, just flip it inside out before you do your 3-needle bind off, and then that seam will be on the inside and it's done. You could also, if you wanted to practice your Kitchener stitch, you could Kitchener stitch the seams closed as well. The only thing I did not do that the pattern called for is it did call to pick up and knit around the armhole for 1 round and then bind off. I did not want to do that, so when I was split for the sleeves, I simply slipped the first stitch on my rows to give it a nice braided finished edge, so it doesn't look like a raw edge of stockinette. It looks finished and I didn't have to pick up and knit. So those are my modifications. This is not a cropped sweater. This definitely hits on me, and I knit it the same inches and parameters. This hits me right at, I would say, the top of my hip. So for me, that gives me about 2 to 3 inches below where my jeans and pants end. So I can wear this and not feel like I'm wearing a crop top. It's just not a long tunic top. It hits me like a regular t-shirt top. If you want it longer, obviously you can easily extend it just knit longer before you start your color work. Or if you wanted this color work portion to, it's kind of like right under the bust. If you wanted it to be more at your waist, then I would just knit more of this top section before you split for your sleeves. So there's a lot of ways you can modify it to make it your own, but it's a fun pattern, and it's a very simple pattern, great for summer knitting. You could knit this in, of course it does call for DK. You could hold 2 strands of a fingering weight linen or cotton. If you wanted a really light, more summer top, you could knit it, like I said, in just about any DK weight yarn. You could always hold 2 strands of fingering together as well if you want a stash bust, and kind of marl, give a watercolor effect to it too. So there's lots of options. It's a fun top, and like I said, very easy. So if you want to try a garment for the first time, or you want to try color work for the first time, this is a great super simple top to do. Okay, now on more of the lines of finished objects, even though most of you guys have seen all of these are not new finished objects. We are having ShawlMania, so if you haven't heard what ShawlMania is, that is basically any time. It started back in June 1st through the end of end of August. Cast on and complete any shawl. I don't care what shawl pattern you do. It just has to include at least 1 skein of yarn purchased here at the Modern Skein. And if you complete it and send me a picture, bring it into the shop, we could take a picture, tag me on Instagram with it, etc., then you're entered to win a gift card to the shop. So let me show you a couple of the designs that we have here in the shop that are super easy. So you still have plenty of time if you want to cast on now, if maybe you didn't hear about it. Maybe you're not a regular in the shop or didn't get our email newsletter, or you're just watching these for the first time and you want to participate. This is open to anyone around the world as long as you have purchased a skein of yarn from me at the Modern Skein, whether that be online, in person, or at a festival. It does not matter. Yeah, you can give it a shot. So let me run through a couple patterns real quick. This is the Reina shawl. This is a very simple but interest shawl. Perfect for your 1 skein. You know, maybe you came and picked up a single skein at a trunk show, or you got just a single skein of something that caught your eye here in the shop. Very easy to wear, kind of a neckerchief. This is how I wear my triangular shawls. You do not have to wear them like this, but that's how I wear them. You can definitely wear them more on the side here and either use a shawl pin or get one of the cuffs that we sell and kind of have it over your shoulder, or very traditional and warming. Drape it over like so. But again, this is the Reina shawl, and this is a free pattern. If you want it, you can get it here in the store or you can get it online. And then you can add these fun little tassels. This only takes 1 skein of fingering weight yarn. So this is great for those single skeins. You can see there's a little bit of lace, but it's a very simple knit 2 together, yarn over, lace repeat. So that's the Reina, and that's spelled Reyna, I believe. Then we have good old standby Age of Brass and Steam. This is again more on the small side, definitely more of a neckerchief, but this takes 1 skein of DK weight yarn, and this gives you just this size. Again, super quick, very simple in design. You have areas of stockinette, and then you have your little yarn over eyelet rows. So this is a fun travel knit, and it's just a fun little shawl to wear. You can make this shawl in multiple, or not really shawls, it's more of a neckerchief. Make it in multiple colors. It's great to pop on over a little maxi dress, or to pop in your purse if you're the kind of person who goes into a restaurant or a store and is always cold. This is a great little fun option. Then we have, this is a popular one. This is the Shift Cowl. So it's technically a cowl, but because it's around the same size and everything, this definitely qualifies for ShawlMania. And so this is a 3-color cowl with a very simple slip stitch design. You can wear it pulled down like so. You can wear it with the majority of it in the back and kind of zhuzh it around. What was that? Something fell. No idea what it is. Or just, this is how I typically wear it. Again, this is how I pretty much wear anything. Something is caught. Okay. So, very simple. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. We have the printed pattern here in the store, or you can purchase online. And this is what it looks like. This is a fun, easy to wear, and easy to knit pattern. All you need is 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. You can do high contrast. This would be definitely a high contrast. It's a yellow, kind of an orchidy pink purple, and then a sky blue. Or you can do low contrast. What is up with this earring? There we go. You can do low contrast, you can do solids and speckles, you can do tonals. There's lots of options with this. So that's a fun one. Then we have, I know quite a few of our regulars have knit this up with all sorts of different variations. This is the Kiyose. So this is a 2-color shawl, and this, you just need 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. Now, we have had people do some fun variations. So you can do 2 skeins of fingering. You can do 1 skein of fingering and 2 skeins of the melted baby suri for a fun fuzzy effect as your contrast color. That you do need 2 skeins of the baby suri if you're going to do that. You can change it up and do it in DK. That would require 4 skeins. In total, 2 of each color, but then it gives you a much larger, much cozier style wrap. You can also do 2 skeins of fingering, but with one of them hold a strand of mohair so you get a very soft halo effect. This is a fun, it is a very simple pattern, but it does use short rows and yarn over eyelets. So it's great if you want to delve into some short rows, or if you want to just have something a little mindless, but also a little bit not challenging, but just want to stretch yourself a little bit. For our crocheters, of course, crochet is always an option. There are so many beautiful crocheted shawls right now out there, but I just wanted to show you this quick little one. Of course, the tag is missing, and I don't remember the name, but I will try to remember and post it soon. I know I did post the name on our Instagram feed. You can scroll back, and when you see this shawl or scarf-like thing, then you can see the name. But the cool thing is you build in this little pass-through key, so it makes it very easy to wear, and you just pull through your little tip, and ta-da! So this is a crocheted out of 1 skein of fingering weight yarn. This yarn that she used is the Ching Fibers, I think it's Bitter Melon, but it is from the Shangri-La collection. So it's just a super fun pattern and very easy stitches in crochet. There's also, we have of course Hotel of Bees done here. That's a 3-color crochet shawl. There's All the Love. There's a lot of really wonderful crocheted shawls out there, and we'd love to help you pick a crocheted shawl pattern if you're interested. And we do have crochet classes coming up. In fact, we have a shawl class where you're going to be doing a crocheted shawl. So if you want more information on that, let us know and we can sign you up for it. Let's see. Oh, I have one last shawl to show you. I have 2 different ways. So this is the Boneyard shawl by Stephen West. I just want to show you here. It's a basic stockinette, but you have these fun little garter ridges throughout. And so this is a DK weight. You can do as little as 1 skein of yarn. This one was done with 2, so it's a little bit bigger. You can do it with 3. You can really make this as big or as small as you want. This looks really nice with these kind of variegateds or tonals, as you can see here. Or you can do this. So this is the same shawl, but every time you do the purl bump row, you change colors. And so you end up with a striped version of the Boneyard shawl. So again, this is the full, she maxed out the full 2 skeins of the colors. She picked a speckled and a mostly solid. And yeah, it's just a fun variation on a very simple pattern. Boneyard, again, it's a free pattern. We can print it out here for you at the shop, but it just makes it a little more fun and interesting. So you can stripe it, or you can do it traditional and leave it in 1 color. Okay, that is all for our samples that I'm going to show you. I am going to show you my current whips, and then we're going to show you some new yarn that just came in the store. I feel like the camera is falling down. That's weird. Okay. So, I am on the home stretch of my, had I finished in the middle of a row? Why do I do this? Especially the day before I'm going to podcast, but that's what I did. I am on the home stretch of my Sereno Symphony by Stephen West. I'll show you a little bit. So you can see this is where you cast on. This is section 1, the big giant holes. The section, this is inside out, I just realized. There we go. The bubble section, and then like a feather fan kind of section. And now I'm on this little bit, the very ending of the brioche. So it's section 7. So I am hoping to get this done ASAP and get it blocked and into the shop. So the yarn here I've used is all Ching Fibers. The background main color in fingering weight is Blue Finch by Ching. Then I may be out of that. It's such a popular neutral, but we are going to get more of that in. Then I have, for the Baby Surrey contrast, up here is Dirt, which is what I'm repeating down at the bottom. Then I have Blue Finch and Baby Surrey alternated here. And then I have the Night. Night or Night Sky? I think it's Night in this bubble section. So it's a really nice fuzzy contrast and textured shawl. Really is not difficult. There is a lot of, I'll say, counting to keep up with your sequencing to make sure everything lines up right. So definitely using stitch markers is helpful to keep your counts correct, but that's my only observation really with this pattern. Move this. Okay. So the other thing I have been working on is, what am I going to show you next? My Plumpy shawl. That has had some good progress, but I have to rip out a section, and I haven't ripped it out yet. So you might say, oh no, don't rip it out. I really do need to. My count is off enough that I can't salvage it, and ripping out doesn't bother me. I know it bothers a lot of people, but it really doesn't bother me because I would rather have the finished object. Here's the thing. If it's just a couple stitches and I can fudge it and make it to where you never know that I had to fudge it, I'm fine with fudging it. But with this, there's no way. It would be very visible. So this is my Plumpy. See, this is where my problem is. Now am I ripping it all the way back there? I'm probably going to have to rip it all the way back here, but I may just rip out the whole thing. See here where my center spine goes straight and then zags funny, and then it's kind of straight again, and then this one is starting to zag a little funny too. It should not be doing that. So my count on this side is correct. My count on this side, I think we're either 10 or 12 stitches off, like too little. So what I'm going to do is rip out this section, make sure I have the right count here. If I don't have the right count here, then I'm going to rip it back down further. But that's my Plumpy. And I will say that is a problem I tend to have. Sometimes especially on a project like this where it's fairly self-explanatory, I like Brioche. I'm pretty good at Brioche, so I maybe did not read every single sentence of the pattern. So it's probably my fault. That's probably it. In fact, I can tell you 99% most likely it is I thought I knew what I was doing and didn't fully read the pattern problem. Which that happens. Oh well. It's a really pretty yarn and I don't mind knitting with it. It's beautiful. It's the Hedgehog new colors for the spring and summer. I guess it's mostly summer. And they're really, really nice. Can't wait till I get to the next color though. It's the multicolored, what do they call it? Goldfinch, I think. It's really pretty. Okay, the other project I'm working on, I need to put this on a longer needle now, but that will come soon enough. This is a pattern called Little Garden by Yonko Otomoto. And I apologize, I probably butchered your name. If you know the correct pronunciation of her name and wouldn't mind sharing that with me, I would be very appreciative. So this is it's I think labeled technically as a cardigan, and it is kind of a cardigan, but I would call it more of like a shrug cardigan, because I don't believe there's any sleeves that we actually pick up and knit. But let me see if I can get this to, like I said, I've got too short of a needle, so it's hard to show you the stitches, but you kind of get the idea. So this is the neck. This will come around over here. And then this is kind of like your shoulder seam that you're coming down. And then you have this panel on the front, which is really pretty. And then this is the back. Beautiful, beautiful textured piece. So I think I have another repeat or two before I get to the part, no, there we go, stitches are popping off. Before I get to the part where we start making armholes. But this is just going to be so pretty because I'm kind of all wrapped up here. And I'm popping stitches off. See, I really do need to get a longer needle. Oops. Da-da-da-da. Hold on. Okay. There we go. But you can see, kind of, where I'm at. Ta-da! This is going to be so cute. So the yarn that I'm using, all wrapped around me, is the Aroha yarn from Happy Go Knitty. So this is the New Zealand Polworth and Merino. Beautiful yarn, holds texture extremely well, and it's super soft. It's so gorgeous. And it kind of has this natural heathered appearance. We have tons and tons of colors. And I believe this is going to take 3 skeins. The pattern, I believe, has 2 kind of sizes, kind of a one size fits small to medium kind of sizes, and then a one size fits large to extra large kind of size. But I believe this, the small size, fits a bust up to 42 inches perhaps. I'll have to double check on the pattern. It's pretty oversized, designed to be worn with a little bit of positive, or a lot of positive ease. But again, you can always modify patterns quite easily. Don't be afraid to modify your pattern to make it fit you. There's a lot of really good books out there on how to make sweaters and garments that fit. Whether you need to compensate for larger bust, smaller waist, larger hips, all that kind of stuff. Of course, anytime you're in the shop, feel free to ask me, Julie, Grace, any of us. We're more than happy to help or give our opinions at least. And then there's lots of good books. The Cocoa Knits Method sweater book by Julie Weisenberg is really good. I mean, there's several other sweater books on basically creating and how to modify a sweater pattern to fit you. And a lot of designers will put, maybe not in the pattern itself, but in the notes, or other people who test knit the pattern will put in their notes how they have been able to modify the pattern ever so slightly or a lot to make it fit the way that they want it to fit. So that's The Little Garden, I believe, by Yonko Otomoto. Okay, then I have 2 other things I have cast on, and I'll go ahead and show you. So this pattern is not yet available, and no, it's not a test knit. I participated in the West Knits Yarn Along, and so basically for 3 months you got yarn that Stephen West picked out, and a pattern he designed specific for that yarn. It is my knowledge that the patterns will be released probably in the next 6 to 8 months, I believe, for people who did not participate in the Yarn Along. So this will be a preview of coming patterns. This is, and I don't have it printed out, but you can see all the patterns on Ravelry now. It just says yarn pattern will be available whenever the said date is. I cast on, it's called Choppy Waves, I believe. And so that's the start. But this is going to be so pretty because you use 2 skeins of a solid fingering weight yarn, solid color, and then you need 3 skeins of 1 skein of 3 different hand dyes. Let me find them all. So these are the 3 colors. Wasn't that going to be gorgeous? These are all Life in the Long Grass. They are exclusive colors for the Yarn Along, but we have lots of similar colors available. So if it's something that interests you, this would be a great pattern when it does come out to use up 3 single skeins of hand-dyed fingering weight yarn plus 2 skeins of just a simple solid color, either grays, whites, blacks, neutrals, or a fun pop of color. Maybe your hand-dyeds are all neutral and then you want to pop it with purple or pink or a red or a bright color or a rich jewel tone color. Lots of different options. So that's that shawl, the Choppy Waves. And then, do I want to show this or not? I think I'm going to wait. So, teaser. There's another, there's 2 other things, but one thing that I have cast on and will be sharing possibly on the next episode, if not in 2 weeks for sure. A new pattern, it's not really a new pattern, new to the shop pattern with a new to the shop yarn that should be coming soon. So, stay tuned for that. It's going to be so much fun. But let's dive into what's already here at the shop. So, on Instagram, I found this gal, or maybe she messaged me. Somehow, I found this lady. Super, super sweet, Rochelle. She's from Oklahoma, and she has a hand-dyed yarn company called Moondrake Company. And it's hand-dyed Moondrake Co. And it's hand-dyed yarn from Oklahoma, and she just does the most amazing palettes of soft yet bright yet neutral amazing colors. So, and she did a couple kits. So let me show you the kits first. The kits are for birds of a feather. There's gonna be some crinkling, but look, so this is beautiful kit. Very soft, very similar colors to the original Birds of a Feather that was published in Lane, or Lina. So pretty. So, so pretty. So this is, should I say the color? This is the pink set, so I'm calling it the pink purple set. And then this is like the neutral set. So this color would be a lot more similar to what I did my Birds of a Feather in. Just a hint of more blue than the gray. But this is a beautiful neutral. So we have those 2 kits. And then the yarn. So we have this color is called Lust. And this is available on her Merino DK. We have this color also available on the Superwash Merino. So we have it on DK and Merino. Beautiful color. This is the only DK that I have from her this batch, this go around. Then we have this color, Unicorn. Isn't that fun? Such a fun color. Then so that was on sock yarn. This is the single ply fingering. This is Unicorn as well. It's just a fun color. Most of the yarn we have is on the single ply, but we do have some sock and a little bit of DK. But this is the single ply. That's Unicorn. This is Shoreline. Beautiful soft color. This one is Sunset, Oklahoma City. Red Riding Hood. Isn't that a fun color? This one's good. Leftover Wine. Such a pretty color. This is Driftwood. Love this color. This is Desert. Beautiful kind of warm neutrals. Blue Koi, very soft and subtle. This is Desert again. This is Calm. Real pretty color. Then this is Noir. Then we have, let's see, oh yes, Outlander. This is a fun, moody color. Driftwood, I showed you Driftwood. That's Outlander. Oh yeah, look at this one, Cotton Candy. Doesn't that look like cotton candy? That's such a fun color. That'd be so pretty in a, what's the shawl? Oranjestad shawl. That would be so fun. Then we have Violet. Very pretty. This is Magnificent. Beautiful rich purple. This is Dusk Unicorn. So the moody cousin of Unicorn. This is Avocado. And last but not least, Game of Thrones, a really pretty smoky blue-gray. So that is all the new yarn that we got in. The only other things, we did get restocked on several of our Cocoa Knits products. So we have the restocked of the colorful stitch stoppers. We have the jumbo stitch stoppers for those of you that use large needles. We have restocks of stitch markers, restocked on some of our pins. Let me just show you our pin board real quick. These are all the pins that we have available for you to purchase. And yeah, that's about it. So reminder, go ahead and sign up for the yarn crawl if you haven't already done so. I believe the 12th is your last day to be guaranteed your tote bag, so be sure and grab that now. Don't forget to put your local yarn store as where you're going to pick it up. So if that's us, we would love that, and just be sure you put the Modern Skein down there. We have, like I said, shawl classes coming up for crochet. We have beginner knitting and beginner crochet as well. We also have a brioche class coming up in August, so if you're interested in any of those, you do need to pre-sign up. Give us your name, your phone number, and your email address, and we will call to confirm that class for you. Any questions, just give us a call or email, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.